What's even scarier than the monsters on Halloween? Trick or treat is what the kids say as they come to the door, right? So it just really it to me it's scary. This time of year is scary. So on today's video, we're going to talk about why this time of year is so scary for me and what the real tricks are and what the real treats are. I'm Dr. Rita Marie Loscalzo, so welcome back to the channel where we educate people about food and diet and lifestyle and nutrition and ways to get healthy using these tools rather than relying on doing whatever you want, getting sick, and then relying on drugs to get you well. Because, hey, spoiler alert, it doesn't work. I also train and educate health practitioners who really want to get different results and different outcomes for their patients and for their clients and are ready to let go of maybe some of the traditional stuff that they were taught or the conventional stuff that they were taught and take action. So today we're going to look in depth at why me as a health practitioner, as a health professional, get really nervous at this time of year. Why I find this time of year so scary. So it's Halloween and it's really the start of the whole, winter holiday, even though it's not winter yet, winter holiday season. And it starts with this holiday where kids put on costumes, which is lots of fun, and they go out through the neighborhood with bags and they collect candy. Candy. Like, why are kids collecting candy? Well, it tastes good. I'm scratching my head. Why are parents allowing their kids to fill up on candy at this time of year? We know that the rates of visits to the doctor's offices after Halloween, they skyrocket. The teachers tell us that the week after Halloween, kids are crazy out of control, right? Because their behavior is bad. And so, well meaning parents, because guess what? They grew up in this society where that's what we do, take their kids to the doctors when they end up with colds and flus and other kinds of upset stomachs and things like that following Halloween. And the well meaning doctors do what they've been told. They give them a prescription to help their kid get well. When in reality, what they should be doing is educating the parent as to why the kid got sick, educating the parent as to how the immune system works, that the immune system is paralyzed by sugar, that for hours after a small dose of sugar, the macrophages, the little gobble up the bugs in the system, they get paralyzed after sugar. And it's, dose dependent. Small doses cause maybe a 50%. Large doses can cause them to be completely paralyzed. So no wonder these kids are getting sick the week after Halloween. And the scary part is the doctors are clueless. Or if they're not clueless, they're not letting on that they understand. A lot of times doctors are afraid to be unpopular. They don't want to tell their parents that they need to change the kids' diet and lifestyle in order for them to get well because the parents think it's too hard. Let me tell you what I think is too hard. I think it's too hard to have a kid that's sick all the time. I think it's too hard to have a kid staying home from school and then you got to rearrange your whole life as a result. I think it's hard to see a child suffering. I think it's hard to see a child get cancer and die, which has happened to a couple of my friends. I think those are the hard things. I think it's hard to see a kid who has to shoot up with insulin because of diabetes. And yeah, people say, well, it's type 1 diabetes. It's genetic. It's not caused by sugar. Yeah, it's aggravated. That gene does not have to turn on. And there's certain things in our diets, in our lifestyles, the excess sugar, the dairy products, which activate the autoimmunity and all the other things that activate autoimmunity. Kids deserve better than this. Kids deserve to be explained. Let me tell you what Halloween looked like when I was growing up. I have 2 kids. They're grown now. They're 24 and 28. But when they were kids, we loved Halloween and we got dressed up and we put the pumpkins on the outside of the house and we made jack-o'-lanterns and they dressed up and went through the neighborhood. At first, as this good person I am, I tried to get them to go out with the little UNICEF boxes. Remember those? Trick or treat for UNICEF. And they would collect coins and, then we'd send off a check. And they did that for a year or two. And then they said, Mom, we can't do this anymore. The kids make fun of us. The people at the houses want to keep giving us candy. We don't even have a bag to put the candy in. We keep trying to tell them we don't eat candy. And they try to give it to us anyway. And so I said, okay, what do you want to do? So they said, well, I like to collect it. And what we always did before, they'd come home with all their little coins to give to charity. And we would then give them all these cool little toys. They loved the little Matchbox toys, cars, and the little soldiers, and the toy, the characters, or whatever was the theme at that time. And so we'd give them all these toys. And so they said, can we just collect the candy and we'll throw it away when we get home and you can give us the good stuff? At least that's what the older one said, because he understood. So that's what we started to do. They would go out and collect their candy and they'd come home with their big bags full of candy. I know the older one we always went with them because they were little and we have a crazy neighborhood. So we always had somebody with them, but they, my older son, Eric, he would never eat candy. He never liked anything sweet, even fruit. He didn't like too much sweet fruit. So he wouldn't eat the candy. I'm sure my younger son picked a few of those pieces, but he always had a full bag. And when they came home, I would have a bag already ready for them, full of things that I knew they were going to love. And we traded it. I know some people who do that, like leave it on the doorstep and the sugar fairy's going to come and take it and exchange it. We weren't going to wait for those things. We just did it right there. So they would come home and we would take the candy and we'd dump it in the trash. Yes, we dumped it in the trash. And no, that's not a waste of food, because it's not food. It's not food. It's just junk that's making them sick. So we would throw it in the trash and they would trade it in for all these toys. And Eric said to me one time, Mom, I feel so bad for those other kids. I said, what do you mean? He said, they get to get all this candy and they all eat it right away. And they probably don't feel so good afterwards. And then it's over. We get to play with these toys for weeks and months and for a long time after. We have the better deal. And that just warmed my heart that that's how he felt. My younger son, the first time we did this, he was like, well, we can't throw it in the trash because that's wasting food. And I said, no, it's not food. It's just, sugar and chemicals and all this. And he said, but can we just give it to our friends? And so I said, so do you like your friends? He said, of course I like my friends. I said, do you think they get enough candy? Yeah, they get a lot of candy. Do you think it's good for them to have more candy? And he said, no. Okay, so let's throw it in the trash. So that became our tradition, right? They got toys. But why can't that be the overall tradition, that kids go around and people give them little toys? And sometimes it was coins and sometimes it was little pens and stickers and things like that. Why can't we change the tradition so that the treats become real treats? The treats become things that they can play with and enjoy themselves. And not the sugar that's going to hurt their immune systems, that's going to make them sick, that's going to make them unable to focus at school for the next days. So I saw a really cute little post on a social media platform last year, and it said, we start with Halloween and the kids, we fill up with candy. And then we go into Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is full of, just overloading with food and pies and cakes and all kinds of stuff. Then we move into the Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa time period, where we're loading up with more treats and cookies and things like that. And then we head into New Year's, where everybody's boozing it up. And then we have the nerve to call what follows the cold and flu season. And the thing said, it's not the cold and flu season. It's the sugar and junk food overload season. So if we change the behavior, if we change how we teach these kids, if we teach them that candy, maybe it tastes good, but it's not good for you. My kids didn't know whether it tasted good or not because I never gave it to them. I didn't have this dichotomy of, it's bad for you, but you can have it occasionally as a treat. Why is it a treat? Something that hurts your immune system is a treat. I taught them how to make other things. I created a whole book, a recipe book. You can find it on Amazon if you want. It's Healthy Halloween Treats. And we made all kinds of things that way. And they got to have special treats, but they were special treats that were good for them, right? So this is what's scary about Halloween to me. The monsters that come to the door and say boo, yay. That's so fun. But it's the candy and all the other stuff. So when kids would come to our door, we started out giving them little boxes of raisins and we gave them little fruit leathers. But then I thought it doesn't even have to be that way. So we started going, you go to the party store and they have all kinds of little party favors. And you get the little party favors, the stuff that sometimes is in those piñatas. Sometimes it's all candy, but sometimes you have little toys and favors. Why not do that? So, yeah, it's a little late for this year, probably, because you probably already have whatever you're going to be giving these kids. But what if next year you gave them something different? What if all of us, anybody listening, makes that decision that we're going to stop doing the candy? We're going to give them good, healthy, wholesome things they can play with, things they can learn from, things they can enjoy for more than just a night. It's really scary. Kids are getting cancer at an unprecedented rate. Kids are getting diabetes, type 2 diabetes in children, younger than ever before. Kids are getting autoimmune diseases, juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Seriously, these kids are getting sicker and sicker. The ADD population, the kids that can't focus. Do you think all these things are random? They're not. They're not random. They're things that are caused by the diet and the lifestyle and the environment and the toxicity that we're breathing. We need to do something about it. And we need to do something about it from within the medical system as well. We need doctors to be educated to know that they need to inform the parents when the kids come in sick, that they need to ask, what are they feeding them? How much TV are these kids watching? What kind of exposures do they have? And teach them ways to get around it. That's the healthcare of the future. Thomas Edison is attributed to have said, the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest the patient in the care and feeding of the human body, the cause and prevention of disease. Don't wait to have a disease to try to reverse it. You and I grew up this way, most likely. At this age back then, that's what we did. We went trick-or-treating and we ate the candy. And we ate the candy and we ate more of the candy. And all the holidays seemed to be focused on candy. We'd come to Christmas and we had Christmas cookies, Thanksgiving and we had all the pies, and Easter. Well, yeah, before Easter is even Valentine's Day, loads of candy, right? Easter, all the candy stuff. This is how I grew up. No wonder my health fell apart when I was in my 20s. I was lucky, right? I had a couple of surgeries before I even reached 20. Why? Not because of a random thing. It was the way I was nourished, the lack of nourishment. Well-meaning parents, they just didn't know any better. But had their doctors told them, do not feed your child this way, here's how you have to feed your child. Had the doctors told them, the parents with so much respect for their doctors would have followed suit. So how do we get out there? Educate the doctors. Educate your doctor. If you're a health practitioner, a health coach, a nurse, a doctor, educate yourself. Join me on this channel. I'm loaded with videos on how to be healthy. I'm doing a 3-day live event in just a few weeks. Come join me there. Send your doctor friends there. Send your own practitioners there. The more people get how to take care of this, not with just giving it drugs and not just substituting a drug for an herb. That's not what it's all about. It's about being healthy. It's about being kind to this body. Treat it like you would an automobile. You give the automobile the right fuel, right? You take care of it probably better than you do your body. And it's not okay to just say, it's just this once. It's just this one holiday. It's not just this one holiday. And if you believe that, you're delusional. I'm serious. People say that to me all the time. Oh, it's just a little bit here and a little bit there, and it's just on special occasions. And the next thing you know, special occasions just meld into one continuous special occasion. And that's why the obesity rates are through the roof. Diabetes rates are through the roof. The studies show that 88% of the population was metabolically unwell in 2017. The studies show that as of 2022, guess what? 93% of the population is metabolically unwell. You can't eat candy. You can't do the standard stuff that people are doing and be metabolically well. Cancer's on the rise, heart disease is on the rise, stroke, autoimmune disease. This stuff is real. And it doesn't just randomly strike. Yes, genetics plays a role. And yes, if you have certain genetic tendencies, you have to be even more careful. And yes, some people can get away with more. But are you willing to play Russian roulette with it? Are you? You don't know. You just don't know. So be as careful as you possibly can. Instead of giving tricks out for Halloween, and we are giving kids tricks if we're giving them candy, you're giving them tricks. Give them treats instead. Okay. So subscribe to the channel, comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what you think about this. Because the truth of the matter is, we need to stop tricking our kids and we need to start treating them. And we need to stop tricking ourselves and start treating ourselves. And we need to get a medical system that turns into a true healthcare system that cares about health, not just about covering up disease with drugs. So I thank you for listening to me on my rampage today. I get very upset when I hear these stories. My both parents died prematurely because they weren't given the right information about how to take care of themselves. My sister died in her 40s. Nobody shared with her that the obesity was a problem, that not eating real food was a problem, and that she needed to change her ways. Imagine all the people that could be saved if the doctors, one at a time, started telling people, no, you've got to do it differently. And it's happening, it's starting. I hear this, but it's got to be bigger. And that's why I'm on a mission to change that and to educate as many people as I can, as many doctors, as many nurses, as many health practitioners as I possibly can. So check the link in the comments. And if you're interested in finding out more about how you can get on this mission with me, just write it in the comments. We need to disrupt the healthcare system. It's not a healthcare system really right now. We need to disrupt the medical system. The way Uber disrupted taxis and the way Airbnb disrupted the hotel industry. That's what needs to happen to the medical care industry. So it becomes a true healthcare system that can help you to live your very best life. So I thank you for listening. Go out and have a healthy, happy Halloween. Get rid of the tricks and engage in the treats. I'm Dr. Rita Marie Loscalzo. Watch for the next video. And I'm looking at some of the comments from Kathy. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. The corporations want to keep us ill-informed because if we get informed, they could go out of business. Like if somebody really knew what those foods were doing to them, they just wouldn't bother, right? And Ginger said, I love the alternatives. Yes. Hello. Yes. Bad candy. Yes, Jody. No sugar. Yes. Great. So talk to people about this. Don't keep it to yourselves. Don't preach. Don't push people away, but talk to them about better ways. Talk to them about tricks and treats, right? The trick is you're giving things to people that are going to make them sick. The treat is give them things that are going to bring them joy. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a great and happy, healthy Halloween. Bye-bye.